Well, I'm getting tired of trying to upload this video and talk to people about a few important issues related to the truth seekers industry and about individuals and our rights as individuals, and how corporatism is getting a stranglehold upon all of society. Fascism. Corporatism is the newer, softer fascism. Now, I titled this id. I'm talking about id here, and I want you to realize there are three types of ids. If you understand id as one being, you have to realize that there are three types of beings. And I'm not getting into the different character traits and all the silly stuff that people use within duality. I'm talking about the nature and purpose. There are only three. There are real beings, and now you can go off with all your different stuff. But at the true nature and the essence, there are true beings. Next comes the fiat beings. These are not ids. They have no id. They gave that away, and they are now peons. And they are also employees. They are employed to benefit corps and organizations and other things that are non-living, which are a collective of egos, which create false wealth and work within the fake economy and so forth. And then you have the non-beings. Non-beings are the puppets. These are people who are lifted above all people, and they're claimed to be either royal, celebrity, or politician, industry leader. All these titles, which titleship, they're owned. Few of them will escape it or build up enough wealth and start to build and try to go out on their own, and maybe they get some good back, but they get defeated in the press, and they get defeated when they're driving in limousines that don't have armed guards around it, and so forth. So we know what happens to those who are playing a part in the game and then want out of the game and want to do good. The ego controllers, those people, get rid of them. Now, we have to realize that the corporatism came to us through collectives and unionization and industrial growth, really, where bigger projects were taken on, and which were always related to materialism or ceremony, like events and so forth. They would build big places to house all these people to come in to buy t-shirts to celebrate events and so forth. Not celebrate, but have a ceremony where they're worshipping material or egos and so forth. These were the big projects, and those, they needed peons, or they needed ids. And ids would do work, but after a while the union started to with the collective bargaining. So now people were working for the same thing. So people were losing their individual rights because they joined collectives or unions where they didn't have the right to bargain on their own for their own contract. They gave up subcontracting to be contracted through another entity, which is non-living, which is essentially a corpse once again. So a lot of people who were tradesmen were kind of locked into these niche little clubs, which were used to oppress and also trick and deceive and debase and deviate and all those wonderful things that egos like. So then we have to also look at with industry, machines and fuel and oil. Now, in the beginning of the oil thing, what they were doing with it was a lot of people were selling it as an elixir, and this was Doc Rockefeller. This is J.D. Rockefeller's father. He amassed great wealth through tricking people, carnivals, and selling elixirs, and playing on people's fears and doing a Fiat kind of show. It's all a presentation. It's vaudeville, basically. He was also a hypnotist, and the guy he wasn't good. He wasn't a good person. But in the Canadian marketplace, there was a gentleman who amassed great wealth too, who was selling pink pills for pale people, and these were iron enhanced chalk pills, I believe, and people would take them and their ashen complexion would improve because of the iron that would come into their system. So they would get some color back, and they would buy them whenever they felt they were going pale, and other people would tell them to buy them. They work. So he amassed great wealth, and what he did was he started investing in General Motors. He also was familiar with Nikola Tesla, and as people should know, Nikola Tesla drove a car around that he never put gasoline into. People seen him drive this for months, and they wondered how come he never put gas into it. He didn't tell people, but I'll bet dollars to donuts that George Fulford knew quite well what Tesla had, because Tesla had patented many things in Canada. So you have to realize this. Now, George Fulford, who was going to buy out General Motors, ended up, he was a friend of J.D. Rockefeller's, remember this. And so Rockefeller was for oil, and Fulford was with Tesla. And what happened? Fulford was killed in a car accident. The chauffeur actually lived and in the accident, but George Taylor Fulford was killed in the accident. He was the first automobile fatality recorded. So you have to realize this was the same time they were setting up for the Fiat money to come into the States, and this is the same time when all the corporations started to amass great wealth, and materialism, superficiality, atheism with Darwinism was going strong, Zionism was going strong, which were all tools to divide people, and the Republic was a target, and people don't realize this. But I'd like to speak more on this. I'd like people to understand about id and realize that it is time that people come together, because what you're giving all your power and your spirit and your wealth to is an industry that is really selling truth, and truth is free and lies cost money. So what most people are buying is debased and debased truth that is all about egos, personalities, way out there theories, and all kinds of stuff, because you can make anything out of what's happened throughout history, because we've played a game called telephone, where in the beginning someone whispered in someone's ear, and as it went around, traveled around, and came to here, all that has changed. Just like that game you played as a kid. There's a word that was whispered in the beginning, it changed all along. So now here we are at a juncture in our lives and in Earth's history where corporatism, fascism, and peonism is really taking a stranglehold over humanity, where peons and employees, they don't care about people. These people, they love and worship the corpse. And they do this because they're even recorded on phones. When you talk with, you call a phone company, and they're being recorded, and they have to talk nice about the corpse. The corpse is what they live through, and they need a corpse. They're all about corpse. So this is really all we fight, and it's NWO. That's 3 letters that have a lot of power, because New World Order is a lot more letters than just NWO, but it carries the weight of all those letters. That's a lot of packed energy within those 3 letters. A lot of words, a lot of thoughts come to mind when you think of those 3 letters. You have to see how powerful that is. You also have to realize what the reverse of NWO is. It spells OWN, which is own, which is materialism, superficiality, enslavement, all that garbage, all that stuff that really takes your wealth away, because you cannot own anything. If you think you own something, it owns you. Now, what should be going up against NWO and own? It should be now, which it always was and always will be. Network of we, and we are all the ids all over the world. Okay, that's the network of we, and with it is when you do the mirror image of now, you have the word one, W-O-N. Now the word, in its how it's pronounced and sound, means 2 things. One, as in one, as in united, as we are one. And it also means win, which is a celebration. You celebrate when you win. There's no ceremony about winning, it's a celebration. And that's what it's about. Now we need to work together. We need people from around the world to work together on the network of we. We need to come together. We need to unite. through that is communication. Let's learn about communication and communicating with light. Let's have truth come to people with light. And I want to show you how to turn lead into gold. And gold is truth. And realize that. And friends, spirit, let's have